Today we're going to be talking about adding and subtracting integers using rules. Okay, so math has rules, lots and lots of rules. We'll be talking about a ton of them. So today's lesson is just on some adding and subtracting of the integers. So again, your I can statement in your table of contents. I can add and subtract integers by using the addition subtraction rules. So let's go ahead and look at the first rule that we need. We're just going to get right started. So case number 1 is the positive plus positive. What's the rule if you're adding a positive and a positive? So a positive 5 plus a positive 8. Remember, it's negative if there's a negative symbol in front of it. So this one has two positive numbers. So what's the rule here that we need to follow? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to keep the sign positive. As a plus symbol, and add the numbers together. So this is a rule that you've been following for years and years. This is nothing new to you. This is just how we add regular old positive numbers. So keep the sign positive and add the numbers together. So let's go ahead and do our example for that one. 5 plus 8. Well, I like to start with 8 because it's bigger than 5, so it gets me closer to my answer. And remember, when you're adding two numbers that are positives like this, it does not matter the order. So let's do 8 plus 5 instead. So if I already have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So my answer is just a positive 13. So remember, I do not have to put a plus symbol in front for a positive. I just put the answer, the number. Let's look at case number 2, negative plus a positive. So this one's a little different. You might have seen this the last couple years, but it might still be a little confusing to you. So this is the rule. We're going to keep the sign of the larger number and subtract. Okay, so let's do a practice of that. That's a negative plus a positive. So here's a negative plus a positive. Keep the sign of the larger number. Which one's larger, a 2 or a 6? Well, the 6 is the larger number, so we're going to keep it positive. So I already know my answer is going to be positive. And subtract. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 6 minus 2. Or you could do a negative 2 plus 6. If you understand how to do that. But what we're going to do, basically they're saying is take the larger number and subtract the smaller one. So 6 minus 2 is 4. And we're going to keep it positive because the 6 is the larger number and the negative 2 is the smaller number. 2 is smaller than 6. Okay, let's look at case number 3. Negative plus a negative. So this is when you have two negative numbers that you're adding together. All right, so what you're going to do here is you're going to keep the sign negative. Keep the sign negative and add the numbers together. Okay, so let's talk about what that means. You're going to keep the sign negative, so I can already put my negative symbol in there because I already know it's going to be negative. And then we're going to add the numbers together. Remember, when you're adding, it doesn't matter what order, 9 plus 7 or 7 plus 9. It's A-okay because we're not really looking at the negatives in front of it. So 7 plus 9, well, 7 and 9 is 16. So negative 16. So let's just recap. If you're adding positive and positive, it's just like how we've been doing. We just add the two together. Remember, it doesn't matter the order. A negative plus a positive. You're going to take the larger number and subtract it with the smaller number. So 6 minus 2. So you're taking the smaller number and subtracting it from 6. So we're going backwards here. And then you're going to keep the sign of the larger number, which is positive. So that's why our answer is positive. The negative and the negative. You're going to keep the sign negative, so we already just moved that right down there before even doing any math. and then we combined those two numbers together. All right, so let's look at our practice for today. On the practice problems, you're going to see 8 problems that you have. You're going to be following the rules that we talked about. And let's see. I don't see any that are going to be a problem, hopefully. So go ahead and give it a try.